On First News today, we took a journey over to the third floor of the building where the Yuma Cooperative Extension is located, and I don't know what the name of this building. It used to be a bank building, but Vicki Steinfeld is consumer specialist, also acting director for the Yuma County Extension. And Vicki, what was this building called?
Good morning, George. This building is the County Administration Building, but I think it was the first national bank. And in fact, I think there's a little sign, a historical sign marker outside the building. But it's actually called the Yuma County Administration Building.
On Main Street, right here in Yuma, and we get a third floor view of what's going on with the extension, and there's so many things happening here, Vicki. One of the things that'll be happening, we're beginning to do our planting right now for gardens.
That's right, George. And we have information for people on what kinds of things you plant first, when you plant them, and after you plant them, how you take care of them. And probably one of the important things is how to get that soil ready for planting. So we have lots of that kind of information for people. They can give us a call, and we'll be glad to get that out to them.
Now, is there a charge for this?
There's no charge at this time, George, for our information. And as I said, especially for the gardening, the home backyard gardener, we have lots of good information.
Okay, what to grow and what will grow around this part of the country. Now, other things like some moms like to feed the kids well, and you have a nutrition program.
That's right. We have lots of information on nutrition and the kinds of foods that are good for you to eat. And another area that we have is food safety, and we've been doing some things in food safety, and I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, you're going to show me how to wash my hands. Now, my mother showed me this, but maybe I've lost something. Huh?
That's right, George. I think we get busy sometimes and we forget that wonderful advice our mothers gave us, and we can probably all remember those messages. Wash your hands before you go to eat or touch food, and especially after using the bathroom. And so what we want to do is talk a little bit about what's the proper way to wash your hands.
And one of the lessons I learned, of course, being in the service and was in the hospital corps, I was a corpsman for the Marines, and when we had to scrub down, we scrubbed down with brushes and everything else.
That's right, George. Now, we're not recommending that people do that, but let's look at how you would, the normal way people wash their hands, and then what we are recommending.
Okay, what am I missing here now? What is my method here?
Okay, what we want to do is not just wipe your hands with a cloth. If you wipe your hands with a cloth, you're actually putting more germs on your hands. If you just rinse your hands with water, you actually are rinsing some of the germs, but not all of them. What we want you to do is thoroughly wash your hands using soap, and get a good lather going, getting all of the soap around and in between your fingers, taking any jewelry and watches off, and just get a good washing lather going, and for about 20 seconds, which isn't too long. After you do that, rinse them thoroughly, and then dry them with a paper towel.
Why is this so important? We wash them after you come out of the lavatory and things like that, but that many things gather on your hands? That's
right, George, and especially before you're going to be preparing food or touching food, it's a good idea to thoroughly wash your hands.
And folks, I'm here to tell you, this is where salmonella is born, is when you have germs that are spreading around the kitchen.
That's right, George, and so we want to do that, and remember that that's one of the keys to food safety is in your hands.
Vicki Steinfeld, consumer specialist, also the acting director for the Yuma County Extension, and food safety, very important. Don't forget you can contact the Yuma County Extension by calling 329-2150. I'm George Gatley, and that is First News Today.